My name is Hendrik. I am 27 years old and I'm from Antwerp, Belgium. I studied aerospace engineering at the Delft University of Technology and then a master in management at INSEAD. And I'm currently an associate consultant at Kearney in Brussels. I had always been, and still am actually, interested in technology and innovation, in engineering conceptually. And from a young age was fascinated by aerospace and aeronautics. And so I started that program mainly just out of interest with maybe, let's say, no big career goals in mind. Although I did see myself working at, let's say, an Airbus or a big aerospace company. So I picked Delft specifically because I had always had the intention of studying or working internationally. It's a school that's well renowned in the field. The program was completely given in English. So apart from my interest in the field, that was something that attracted me already to go to Delft. The story of, or at least the shift towards management and even consulting started actually already throughout my time in Delft. So even though I had and still have this keen interest in technology, engineering, and in the aerospace field, I felt as I got kind of deeper into this, into my studies in Delft, and as I had to specialize more and more and more, I started to feel like I didn't see myself work as an engineer in the field. I think even though it's a really cool and great career path, I had always been really broadly interested. So from a young age was following all kind of news, business, geopolitics, very wide spectrum of interests. And I'm also someone that's really gets energy from doing very diverse things, very diverse challenges. So in that way, I was looking a bit outside the field and wanted to broaden my scope a little bit more. I already had been in touch with consulting. I knew a bit what it was about. I had a bit of a vision of potential fields I wanted to work in, but still I was a bit in this engineering world. And what I really needed was to broaden my scope, learn things in a lot of different fields, meet kind of like-minded people. So partly the orientation in terms of jobs, but also in terms of knowledge. It was exactly kind of the very specific scope in engineering that made me want to study something else. And that's, I think, where a master in management, which is a bit of a broader degree, was really very complementary and I think the right choice for me at the time. Why INSEAD? I think even though I was in my engineering cocoon, INSEAD was already a name I knew. It was a school, a famous school known for great education, but also a big community of like-minded people and alumni. So that's something that it was immediately one of the schools that was on the map for me. And then I think the more I read into it and got to know more about the program, I think what really attracted me was the extremely international approach, international scope, the courses specifically also. I think the unique setup of the program with spending half a year in France, half a year in Singapore, the focus on business in Asia, in the US, in China, to me that were all things that really contributed to me choosing INSEAD. The master really spoke to me, and so even though it was the first year actually of the MIM, it didn't exist before our year. It just felt like the most exciting, the most interesting one. I think having a different type of background was actually something that they really value at INSEAD and something that probably helped my case. And I think it's also one of the big assets of the program. You come in a class of, back in the day, 95 people with very different backgrounds from ethnicity, nationality perspective, but so also from education perspective. And I think it helped me get in, but also it really enriches the program. You are together with people that studied even medicine or law, obviously people that come from a more business or economic background. But I think that's something that INSEAD is valuing and something that contributes to the quality of the program as well. So I absolutely think that INSEAD was pivotal and really important in my shift towards consulting. So I had learned about consulting earlier in my Delft days during some company events, but on one hand, I still had other options that I didn't really know. And for me, that year at INSEAD gave me the exposure to different topics, but also people within the program, getting to know their aspirations, their views on different industries, speaking to MBAs or alumni that might have already been in consulting, also giving me content-wise some tools that I didn't have before, that helped me, that I might have learned in consulting anyway, but that helped me kind of take off right from the get-go, but also putting me in touch with people at different firms. So I really think that INSEAD helped me kind of making my personal decision of I want to go for consulting, and then gave me the tools and insights to also be successful there. It's a really good question, and I think quite a complicated and multifaceted one. So I think you're right that the INSEAD MIM is way more than just education and content. Even though for me, coming from engineering, that was a big part. I mean, for me, every course we had was new. Everything I learned was new. So it was important, but of course, there's way more to that. And I think it's more practically oriented. You know, you look at case studies, you work in teams on real issues, you get, I mean, from your professors and guest speakers, you hear about also, I mean, the decisions you're making, the things that are happening in the world, but you see different sides of it, as you say, and that also, I mean, it informs your decision making. It informs how you then later look at these type of problems. So it's changing the way of, I mean, how you work with people, how you think about things. I think that if you look at many of the assignments or the problems you're faced with in aerospace, it's kind of they're complicated, they're complex, but there's less dimensions to them often. It's very analytical and you have to structure them, but then there is kind of a step approach to how you get somewhere and how you think about those. And I think there's just so many more dimensions to some of the problems that you face and some of these assignments you get at INSEAD. I mean, there is more of a team element, and how do you handle other people's opinions? How do you solve conflicts there? I think indeed there is more of a real world application sometimes, so where you kind of have to think more ahead of, okay, what does this mean? What's the result of my decision making? And then also there is an aspect of indeed getting challenged, a bit more of an interactive approach also with the professor or facilitator. So there is, I would say, more dimensions to some of the problems, and it changes your thinking, makes it more holistic, and that's something that definitely helps you in a career like consulting, where all your problems are, I mean, not just analytical, but also, you know, you're working with people, and there is some politics. There is a real world impact. In terms of the learnings at INSEAD that I mean, immediately helped me at Kearney, I think there is two angles. On one hand, for me, again, coming from engineering, there was immediate learning in content. So I was dropped on a due diligence, my first project, quite a big deal here, figure it out with the financial model. I mean, I was doing that and I was thinking, well, 1 year ago, I didn't even know how to read a financial statement. But that's a bit funny. I think no education really 100% prepares you for a job. That's not the point of education. I think it should give you the tools, not exactly the solutions or the content. But that was something that really enriched, I mean, for me, I think accelerated my start here at Kearney, was to really have had, I mean, some insight into a lot of different business topics. But I think then it's more on the other side, right? And on the tools. And there, one thing I learned is linked to communication and teamwork. I think at INSEAD there was quite a big focus on a theoretical side on how to structure, maybe how to present, how to structure thoughts, how to structure problems, how to communicate to peers and to more senior stakeholders. That's something that really helped me, also giving you the confidence. It's something that you don't do as much during your engineering studies, even though we had some projects really this is a part where I gained a lot of confidence during my INSEAD time, and that helped me out and still helps me out a lot day to day. For me, compared to your engineering degree, where one, indeed, it's more focused on the hard skills, but also it's just, I mean, this is the curriculum, this is kind of what we're going to do and what we're going to learn. I think at INSEAD, what was really interesting was there is kind of a mirror suddenly, and it's okay, what do you like? What are you good at? There's a different approach a bit to grading and also to electives. Which courses do you want to take? Who are you as a person? How do you perform in a group? What do you see yourself working at? There is a bit more of a mindset, in a bit more focus to looking at yourself. And I think that's something that's really important, of course, in your career every day. You need to know yourself. You need to know how you are working in a team, what your strengths are, what you want to do. That helps you, I don't know, think more, think quicker, be more adaptive also. Helps perform day to day, I think, just in a better way. I think for me, the INSEAD experience was probably the biggest highlight of the whole year. I mean, it's a bit cliche maybe, but still, when I talk to potentially interested students, I mean, I'm always saying it was the best year of my life, and I stand by it. And I think, yes, the education is great, and yes, there's a lot of opportunities that come from it. It helps you in your career afterwards. But for me, the highlight was really the culture, the class we were a part of, the experience. So I think we were a group of 95 people, which is a size where at that size still you know everyone personally in the class. There is a lot of like-minded people that are ambitious, that have very varied interests, that inspire you, that you can learn from. I also think it was a class and a group that was very collaborative and very caring, actually. I mean, we were there during COVID. We were kind of stuck in Fontainebleau for half of the year, but being there maybe on our little island allowed us to still have actually most classes in person. We were always looking out for each other. If people were sick, we were caring. So I think you're really part of a group of people that in the end turn out to, many of them become probably friends for life. You end up having a lot of fun. Also, you learn from each other every day. You help each other out. It's I think one of the main contributors to the program. It's how you learn. It's how you look at your future. That's all connected to the people and to the class you're part of. I'm incredibly grateful for the INSEAD experience. I think it really was the best year of my life. I cannot recommend it enough. I think anyone thinking about it should take the opportunity with both hands. It's something that you remember for the rest of your life.